You know that voice, the one still playing in your head, even when they're miles away, telling you you're too much, or not enough, or wrong again. I've been the one trapped in that loop, replaying their words like a broken record I couldn't turn off. But here's what nobody tells you. Toxic people don't actually fear your anger. They don't fear you getting loud or fighting back. What terrifies them? When you stop being predictable, when you're no longer the character they wrote in their little play, that's when they panic, because suddenly their script doesn't work anymore. Today I'm showing you 6 silent behaviors that rewrite everything. And behavior number 3, it's so quiet, so invisible, they won't even understand why they suddenly feel powerless around you. They'll just know something shifted, and they can't control it anymore. Let's fix this right now. 1. Become the person who forgets their drama exists. Here's what changes everything. Most people, they remember every single mean thing, every insult, every nasty comment. They carry it around like a backpack full of rocks. And toxic people, they count on that. They know you're walking around thinking about what they said last Tuesday. But imagine being someone who genuinely forgets. Not pretending, actually forgetting. They say something cruel on Monday. By Wednesday, you've moved on completely. Your brain didn't even save the file. When they bring it up again, trying to poke that wound, you look confused. Like, wait, what are we talking about? This breaks their brain, because their whole plan depends on you remembering, on you carrying that hurt around, on you being affected. When you're not, when you're just living your life like their words never even landed, they lose all their power. It's like trying to scare someone who doesn't believe in ghosts. The ghost can jump around all it wants. Nobody's scared. Think about how they operate. They say something mean, then they wait. They watch to see if it's stuck. If you're quieter than normal, if you're avoiding them, if you seem hurt, those are the signs they look for, the proof that their words are living rent-free in your head. When you forget completely, those signs never come. You're the same as yesterday, happy, normal, unbothered. They'll even test you. Bring up the topic again. Make little comments, waiting for you to flinch or react or show that you remember. And you genuinely don't. It's gone, deleted, like it never happened. Here's how you become this person. Stop replaying conversations. When something mean happens, notice it. Then let it go, like releasing a balloon into the sky. Their words don't live in your head anymore. You're too busy thinking about things that actually matter. Your favorite show, your next meal, that funny thing your friend said, your weekend plans. Real things, good things, things that deserve your brain space. And when they realize you forgot, that you're not walking around hurt, they'll feel invisible, small, powerless. That's when they start fearing you. 2. Turn into someone whose silence feels like judgment. Listen carefully. Toxic people talk a lot. They fill every space with noise, explaining themselves, making excuses, blaming everyone else. They expect you to join in, to argue back, to defend yourself, to fill the silence with your own noise. Don't do that anymore. Become the person whose silence makes them uncomfortable. Not angry silence, not cold silence, just calm, quiet presence. Like you're watching something interesting but not worth commenting on. When they complain about someone, you don't agree or disagree. You just look at them. Then you say something like, huh, or I see. That's it, nothing more. Your silence becomes a mirror, and they don't like what they see reflected back. Because when you're not reacting, they start hearing themselves, and they realize how ridiculous they sound. Their brain goes into panic mode. Wait, why isn't this person engaging? Do they think I'm stupid? Do they see through me? They do. You do. And your silence tells them that without saying a word. Most people feel like they have to fill every gap, every pause, every quiet moment. They think silence is awkward, so they talk to make it less weird. But silence isn't awkward. It's powerful. When someone says something toxic and you just go quiet, something amazing happens. The weight of their own words falls back on them. They said it. You heard it. And now it's just sitting there in the air between you both. Heavy, obvious, uncomfortable. They can't take it back. They can't explain it away if you're not giving them the chance. They just have to sit with what they said, and it eats at them. Here's what happens next. They'll try harder to get a reaction. They'll say more dramatic things, more shocking things. And you just stay quiet, calm, unbothered, like someone watching a toddler throw a tantrum. Not angry, just observing. Eventually, they'll stop. Because performing for an empty theater is exhausting. Be the empty theater. Your silence is more powerful than 1,000 words. 3. Exist as someone who doesn't need their version of events to be true. This one's invisible, sneaky, and it destroys them quietly. Toxic people need you to believe their story. They need you to agree that they're the victim, that everyone else is wrong, that the world is unfair to them. They build entire houses out of these stories, and they need you to live in that house with them. What if you just don't? Not arguing, not fighting about whose version is correct, not trying to prove them wrong. You just exist in a completely different reality, one where their story doesn't matter. They say everyone at work hates them. You think, maybe, maybe not, doesn't change my day. They say their ex ruined their life. You think, that's their story. I'm not carrying it. They say nobody understands them. You think, okay, not my job to understand. You're not mean about it. You're not dismissive out loud. You just don't absorb their reality anymore. And this terrifies them. Because if you're not living in their story, they can't control how you see them. They can't manipulate your perception. You're free. And your freedom shows them they're still trapped. Here's how to be this person. When they tell you their dramatic story, listen, nod, then don't let it change anything about how you see the world. Their crisis isn't your crisis. Their enemy isn't your enemy. Their version isn't your truth. You have your own reality, and it's peaceful there. When they sense this, when they realize you're not buying what they're selling, they'll fear you. Because you can't be controlled by someone whose story you don't believe. 4. Become someone whose happiness doesn't depend on them. Here's the secret weapon nobody talks about. Toxic people feed on being needed. They want to be the center of your world. They want you waiting for their approval, their attention, their validation. What destroys them? When you're genuinely happy without them, not pretending, actually good. You laugh at something else. You enjoy your day. You feel content sitting alone. You have things you're excited about that have nothing to do with them. This breaks their entire system. Because they were counting on you needing them, waiting for them, being incomplete without them. When you're whole already, when you're full already, they have nothing to offer. It's like showing up to feed someone who just ate a feast. They're not hungry. Your food has no value. Here's what you do. Build a life that makes you smile. Tiny things, big things, doesn't matter. A hobby that makes time disappear. A friend who makes you laugh. A morning routine that feels good. A goal you're working toward. Fill yourself up from the inside. When toxic people see you genuinely okay without them, it flips the whole game. Now they're chasing you. Now they're wondering why you're not affected. Now they're afraid because they realize they don't matter to your happiness anymore. Be full. Be complete. Be content. That's the person toxic people fear most. 5. Transform into someone who doesn't flinch. Watch this closely. Toxic people test you. They say shocking things. They cross lines. They do things to get a reaction. They're looking for the flinch, the gasp, the shock on your face. When they get it, they know they got you. They know they can still affect you. Stop flinching. Not because you're tough, not because you're trying to be cold, but because you've seen enough that nothing surprises you anymore. They say something cruel, you've heard worse. Your face stays calm. They try to embarrass you, you're not embarrassed. Your energy stays steady. They reveal something dramatic, okay, your reaction is flat. You become someone who's unshakable, not because you're pretending, but because you genuinely don't give their actions that much weight. It's like they're trying to scare you with a plastic spider, but you're someone who's held real spiders. The fake one doesn't do anything. When you don't flinch, they lose their favorite tool. They'll try bigger things, crazier things, more dramatic moves. And you, still calm, still unbothered, still solid. Eventually they'll realize this person can't be rattled. This person isn't playing the game. That's when fear sets in. Because people fear what they can't shake. Be the rock, be the mountain, be unmoved. Not because you're hard, but because you're grounded. 6. Exist as someone who improves when they leave. Here's the final blow. Most people get worse when toxic people leave. They spiral. They miss them. They wonder if they made a mistake. And toxic people count on this. They think they'll come crawling back. They can't survive without me. Prove them wrong by becoming better. When they're gone, you sleep better. You smile more. You feel lighter. Your life actually improves. And here's the scary part for them. You let them see it, not by rubbing it in, not by posting about it, just by existing visibly happier. They check your social media. You look good. You're doing things. You seem fine, better than fine. They hear through mutual friends. You're thriving. You got a promotion. You're taking trips. You're laughing again. This destroys them because their whole identity was built on being necessary, being the important one, being the one you'd fall apart without. And here you are, completely fine, actually better. It rewrites their entire story about themselves. Here's how to be this person. When toxic people exit your life, don't collapse. Don't pause your life waiting for them to come back. Move forward, grow, improve. Become the version of yourself they never got to see. Not for revenge, not to prove anything, but because you're finally free to become who you were meant to be. When they see this, when they realize you're not just okay, you're better, that's when real fear hits. Because they realize they weren't the main character. They were just a chapter. And the story got better after they left. Pick one behavior, just one. Maybe you'll start forgetting their drama. Maybe your silence will become powerful. Maybe you'll stop living in their version of reality. Try it this week. Some toxic people will back away confused. Some will try harder, then give up. Some will just disappear like smoke. That's exactly what should happen. Next week, try another behavior. Keep stacking them. Before long, you won't just be free from toxic people. You'll be the type of person they instinctively avoid. Now, hit subscribe. One click. That tells me this helped. Then go become the person toxic people fear. The calm one, the unmoved one, the one who's better without them. You've got this.